I'm Gaz, and this is Let's Play Anno 2205. This is a little bit of a different game than most of the other Anno series. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. As you can see, I've been playing just a little bit. It's got a lot of familiar things in it, but some things have been definitely changed and simplified. Anyway, let's go ahead and start a new corporation.
Samantha Beaumont, Global Union Supervisor of the Lunar Licensing Program.
Okay, we're going to skip that. Anyway, the basic story is that there are 5 major corporations, mega corporations actually, that run the world. And it takes place immediately after... Okay, can we stop? We're doing Gaz Corp. Anyway, it takes place immediately after 2070. Well, not immediately. I mean, obviously, this is several hundred years in the future. But I kind of like that. Unfortunately, I have not unlocked that. Anyway, we are attempting to become the 6th mega corporation, and in order to do that, we have to effectively work our way onto the moon. The logo here are... customization is way down in this game, too, compared to even 2070, which is kind of disappointing. I might be wrong, but I feel like there are also a couple throwbacks to, say, Command & Conquer in there. We're going to go ahead and pick this logo, I guess, for Gaz Corp, and we will run with it. So, starting sector. Once again, we don't have as much customization as previous games. We effectively get to choose one of 6 starting maps. One of these 2 is sort of the beginner map. I'll go ahead and just do the Walbrook Basin. Why not?
Almost there.
And then we do get to change some settings, but again, it's not very much. We'll just stick with standard. Launch and shush.
You are now entering Phase 1 of the Lunar Licensing Program. The Global Union assigned you territory in Earth's temperate region to establish a spaceport and a base of operations. The construction of a space elevator to Global Union headquarters is also required. For further instructions, speak to your official contact person. Global Union wishes you success.
Okay, yeah, so basically everything I just said, we are attempting
Wide meadows,
to get into space.
Mountains. And soon you will add an impressive skyline to the picture. But stay attentive. I was informed a Big 5 company has been monitoring the ruined dam for quite some time now. This could turn out beneficial for you at some point, but your prime objective is to raise a spaceport here.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's a very beautiful game. However,
the spaceport building site off the coast is
part of me
staffed.
feels like
As soon
maybe...
as you've built the necessary housing, your construction team will be moving in.
Okay. Maybe it's a little too photorealistic for the Anno series. It does kind of kill a little bit of, I don't know, the charm. Anyway, so we have to start building, and unlike previous Anno games, we do not have a centralized... Shut up! We do not have a centralized distributor point. We can effectively just build wherever we feel like. As you see, the islands are very small compared to, well, I mean, obviously not this one, but compared to previous games, it's just sort of a big map of one island, really. We can eventually get over here. I don't know how we do that. You can see the ghosts of things that we probably eventually will have the ability to unlock and work with. For right now, though, this is where I build. And I guess here we go. So I need to build 25, well, get 25 different residences, enough to house 50 workers. So I'm just actually going to drag a road over here, and we will just have them... Well, you know what? Actually, I could build here and have my industry out there, centralized. The distribution network is also different. So let's see. I could build that just going straight up to connect. Or I could build a little housing thing out here. I don't know. I guess we'll just build to the central and straight off the dock as you come into my city, we'll just build like this. So we'll build in squares of 5.
Got work to do? We're on it.
Everyone has some weird I don't even know what nationality we're playing as, to be honest. Okay, I'm missing out there. Building materials are also greatly simplified for certain things like housing. As you can see, I've already unlocked the ability to now work towards building biopolymers, which is essentially the universal construction material.
Construction options expanded.
I've just unlocked a bunch of stuff here. That's good. But, yeah, the campaign is really weird. Oh, there's also little treasure things that pop up on the islands. Reminiscent... that's another thing about this game that I've noticed. I did play Anno Online, and I did do a short series on it. There's a lot of things that seem to have been carried over to this one. For example, these little hidden treasures. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Combat is another thing that seems to have been influenced by the Anno Online. We won't see that until later. That's actually its own mission. It does not happen on this map. Again, a little bit different, a little bit weird. I guess I kind of applaud the company for... because as far as I know, it is still Blue Byte who developed this. It definitely doesn't feel that way, though. It feels like it's a knockoff, like someone took the ideas of Anno and, in part, the new SimCity and threw it together in a future game. I honestly think you could call this Future Cities, and you'd never know that it was any different. The islands are way up high, too, which is weird. Which actually does affect what you can build along the coast. You are limited to these nodes for what you want to build. Anyway, I've got to get back on track here. How do I... okay, so I've got 18 polymers now. This should be able to finish the housing that I need. And we just wait for them to come in. Now,
Nothing fancy.
here's another difference too. This satisfaction is basically overall satisfaction. So, obviously, food right now is the only thing they're working on, and that's going to go down. But rather than having like a certain amount of food in the warehouse, it's more based on the amount of production that I have. Meaning that so long as I can produce enough food that would satisfy these people, then their bars will be green, and it will indicate that for me. Again, it's just a little bit weird. So, what we need to do now in our tasks is produce water for these people, because that is their next requirement. I would actually like to satisfy my food just a little bit before they disappear, but I think I'll just go ahead and just get to the next part. So we build water, as I said, on these special locations along the shore, these pre-designated areas. And that may seem very limiting, and in fact it is, because this island only has 5 different spots, and this is not the only thing we're going to need to put on the coast. So how do we overcome that? Well, because you have the ability to expand with modules, and I don't think they're available right now, they are not. But it's kind of like the new SimCity, where you can add on to pre-existing industry. And so that means you gotta kind of have a different plan for your layouts, because obviously if you cram certain things together, you're not going to have space. One thing this game does have as a feature that I wish the previous ones did is the ability to move, which is something, again, from Anno Online. So if you screw up, you can rearrange things and make it fit a little better. Again, though, I just don't know. It is so much different in style and just thought. Yeah, I'm still not really comfortable with how it works. Again, it's really like an indie game, especially in the look. You know, this doesn't even look like an Anno game because it's just too photorealistic. It doesn't have that sort of cel-shaded, cartoony look to it, which some people like, some people don't, whatever. But for me, this just feels like kind of like City Skylines was to SimCity, this is to Anno. You know what I mean? An indie game studio could have developed this and taken a lot of ideas from it, and it'd be like, oh, cool, it's kind of like Anno. Yeah. So, anyway, okay. So we're half to where we should be on population. Information is the next thing that will allow me to evolve these people. And that means that we're going to have to get this. Well, we're not going to be able to unlock until I get 200 more. Obviously, 25 houses is going to give me 100 people at this point, so I need to effectively double what I've got here. So, may as well get that done. unlike the previous games, I feel that this is sort of one of those things where
Successes multiplying.
I'm not really going to make effort to get my supply in order until the game tells me to, because like I said, it'll start telling me when their satisfaction is dipping down and when we don't have enough. And then I just gotta spam buildings until it goes green again, and then they're able to evolve. So this is really kind of a wait until it's a problem kind of game. And again, I just don't know how I feel about that. So as far as resources go, again, we've got the biopolymers that I'm just waiting on. Well, effectively, I have to build them. That's something we can do now is start my industry. But we've also got energy, which we start out with a ton of, and then this logistics, which is the replacement in the game for the circular area of where you can build. So when we run out of trucks, we're going to have to build another logistics center. I could build all the way out here right now, as long as I've got a road connecting it to the main everything, main structure, infrastructure. It works. Again, it just doesn't feel whatever. Anyway, we're not here to do a review just yet. This is the first episode, so let's actually get down a biopolymers production chain. And one thing I like about this now, as opposed to previous games, is that I don't have to go to a wiki now to find out what the hell I'm doing, because, or you know, the proportions of what I need to what I need, because this tells me what it consumes and how much it produces. So this consumes 10 bioresin. Well, this produces 10, so I know I need a 1-to-1, as opposed to, I don't think we've unlocked it yet, but there's other things that you can deduce that, oh, I need a 2-to-1-to-1 here, or something like that. So anyway, let's build ourselves a sunflower farm, and then a biopolymer factory. I don't know where I want to put this. It doesn't really matter, because I can always move it later, and in fact I'm going to have to move it later, because as I said, we have not yet unlocked the ability to create modules, but eventually I'm going to want them, and that means I'm going to have to move so that I can have them, because your modules have to be connected directly to your building. It can't be within a radius like previous Anno games, so it has to be directly next to it, and if you don't leave yourself room, well, you've kind of screwed yourself. So, I guess this is the front? There's a door there, but I think this is actually the back. You know what? We'll just put it right there. So right there for now, and then we'll build one of these, and again, this is another structure that's going to have a lot of modules later on. I guess I'll just build it right here. So that will start creating itself. We can really just sort of sit back and let it happen. I could build more. In fact, why don't I? What is my money situation like? That is not the right one. No, it is the right one. No? Which one is the one that tells me... Ah, this one. Okay, credit balance. So, I am still going positive. That's good. But you can just see right now, from what I've built, the maintenance cost, if I build another 2 buildings, is going to be more than I can afford. Well, maybe not, because this is probably including this too, which has 100%. Okay.
Consumer analyses show unfulfilled demand.
Yes, yes. Okay, so now the game is telling me organic food is taking a shit. So we're going to have to build that right now, and it just produces on its own. We make a rice farm, and everybody eats rice bowls, and that is how my city is sustaining itself. So we'll just put it right here, and it's going to produce 5, and we'll see now if that's enough. It is enough because it's gone green. So when it's not enough and I need to build more, it'll go back to yellow, and on we go. Again, very simplified as compared to previous Anno games, but whatever. We can speed this up a little bit. I want to get those next ones built up. There we go. Okay. Another thing they do provide as well, as another resource, is that they provide a worker resource. I'm not entirely sure that that was ever a thing before. I don't think you needed a certain amount of workers to... Well, the workers in this case are for unlocking, so maybe they're not necessary for operations. Oh, they are. They are. So this requires a certain amount of that workforce. Again, I don't believe that was in previous games. I might be wrong. But I don't think it was. Because you could build islands of industry without anybody living on it. So, I don't know. Anyway, we've now unlocked the Infodrome, which I did not really... I maybe should have built this a little bit differently. But I can still have that option by just removing these homes. And another thing that we have access to is ornamentation. There's a few things in there that are like for the Trials Fusion, just little in-game advertisements for other Ubisoft games, I suppose. Why don't I just go ahead and move some of these things, and we will just put this in the middle here, because this one actually does have a radius, but it's not as drastic. It's an effect radius, I guess. It's not quite the same as you need this in order to have all the rest of this. So we can go ahead and just get rid of all these roads. Because the way, since it's not circular built anymore, I could just build this, and you can see it kind of highlights the road as to who's impacted on it. But then you can actually kind of see how far it goes as well. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and put this in.
A broad range of information
That is
services.
absolutely not where I wanted that,
Enable your
thankfully.
employees to
I can just move
develop
it
their
over.
interests as well as their skills.
And this is actually connected to road. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. And actually, God, now that I look at it, this is really a mess. I could maybe build other structures in here. Maybe I will. Because if I move this over, I mean, this is a waste of space that I'd just be putting in parks. Which I don't believe really have any benefit, aside from making it look cool. Do you know what?
There was something going on here.
Okay, we have a sleazy sleazy trader dude. I'm actually going to move this over one, so I can put the road back in and make it a little more useful to me. God, I keep forgetting where things are. Because one thing that this game has, and I think we have yet to unlock it, is it's got larger squares. So you don't have to put down tons of these little homes, you can actually put down a complex, which is kind of cool. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to have this pointing, since this is supposed to be sort of the big central hub information center of the city, we'll have it kind of facing to where you're supposed to come in. Again, yeah, these roads look ugly and all that, but I don't really care about that at the moment. I'm more worried about unlocking stuff for completion of the mission and moving on. So, now there's an upgrade tool. You can just click, 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 click. I like that. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Set things in motion.
And first I want to
Remarkable
actually...
progress. You've assembled construction crews and ground personnel faster than I was expecting.
Okay.
You are more than
I actually
ready
wanna
for the
see-
first major hurdle.
Okay, we are still
The program
maintaining.
demands you connect your city with the Global Union space station via a space elevator. So far, only megacorps like the Big Five use such technology. But I'm sure you have the same potential.
Yeah, probably. So, now we've kind of unlocked the next part of the story, which is moving towards getting an upgrade so that we can connect ourselves to the space station up above. And we have to do this effectively so that we can unlock more missions on Earth as well. This is our trader friend in quotations. I could actually go out here right now. Let's do that. Let's take a little bit of a detour since I'm not ready to begin the production of all those people. You know what, though? One thing I will do is I'll just finish up my upgrade spam here real quick. How many more people can I... See, that's the thing. I can't... I'm not aware of any centralized information center where I can just click on and know how many more upgrades I have, how many people for this, that, and the other. Guess we just keep going until these things turn off. And there we go. Okay. So, oh, we got one more. I must still have enough biopolymers. Okay, so we can still keep going. Well, that's fine. However, I'm going to let that sit for a while because they're going to start consuming resources that I don't necessarily have the infrastructure for right now. Let's go back over here because this is now a new mission.
Yes, technically this is an unannounced intrusion into your territory. But before you report me, listen to my offer. Once Lei Sheng pursued the construction of a hydroelectric power station here. The stations were based on designs Lei Sheng took over from its bankrupt rival, Global Trust. But the project was dismissed after incidents made the dams inoperable. If we would join forces, we could bring the dam building to a conclusion, and half of the produced energy would be entitled to your corporation. Do I have your attention now?
Okay, side quest. Again, tying into Global Trust from the previous game. This is nice. Can we get out of... Good God. Sorry. Hitting escape does not actually end that nonsense. Anyway, so, I've got to go over there with my boat. Where's my boat? There's my boat. I'm going to go all the way over here and see what she needs. We need to collect the remains of the dam here. These three right here. Kind of pointless, in my opinion. It's just like right here. You don't have to go all the way around searching for this, that, or the other. It's just it's a fetch quest 5 feet away. Like why? I don't know. Whatever. Speed up. So that blue port over there. What's this blue port? So these must be where I can build new warehouses to extend my reach all the way to a new island, which is cool, and you can build bridges and all that stuff.
Loaded. Cargo gathered.
Okay, bring it back.
You do good work.
Okay.
Why not combine resources? Information like this would benefit both of us.
Alright. So I've got to have a workforce
Underway.
back home of 300 people and let that sit for 5 minutes, and then I'll get 1,000 energy in this sector. Interesting. That means we're going to have more people. My tool says that it's capable, but these people are unsatisfied because we're out of organic food. Well, and if we have not. I have not unlocked the ability to add modules, so now just got to add one more of these. Okay. And there it is, and that should satisfy immediately. And here we go. Don't even need the goods in my storage. In fact, at some point, let's see, where is this? At some point, the game actually tells me that ideally, in my storage here, I should be hanging on to 2 or 3. If I've got more than that, I've got a huge surplus. If I've got less than that, then clearly I'm not doing my job. But it's kind of a weird feeling because you're not building up a stockpile in your warehouse. Now, I maybe eventually we unlock the ability to trade, so that could be a thing. But yeah, right now it's definitely telling me like this is a good balance, except for the vitamin drinks, which I have to build. But I don't know. It's just so weird. And obviously, one of the things in this is that I don't get to change my income. I don't get to change tax rate on them and have that affect their mood of whether they're going to evolve or not. You know, I mean, the case could be made that, well, effectively Anno 2070 isn't really that different from 1404, for example. So, you know, why keep playing the same game? I mean, yes, you're playing a different theme, and yes, 2070 added a few things like the research that made it different, but, you know, you could make the argument from a design standpoint, well, you're not really growing. But at the same time, I feel like you're not growing the game, the genre, the design. But at the same time, I feel like that's what makes an Anno game, and what makes it so different from a city builder. Like I said, this could really just be called Future Cities, and be like, oh, this is kind of an Anno knockoff. That's just, I don't know, that's what it feels like to me. So, we need 30 more people. How many can we get in here? 9? Well, we'll just finish building one more sector here. And here we have big structures, and I've built that road too wrong. Too incorrectly. We'll just get rid of that there. And now I can bring in, if I want, this. I do not have enough Constructo bots, though, so I won't be able to do that just yet. But yeah, these are effectively the same population density, the same thing as building 4 singles. It's just you can put down a complex and make it look a little bit different, which is nice in the fact that there's really only like 4 different building types. So if you really want to add more variety, I guess you kind of need that. I don't know. It just looks so... It looks too clean and sterile and too photorealistic for me, for my taste. Because I imagine the other Anno games were exactly the same way. They only had like 4 different types of buildings, but I don't know. I just... It's hard for me to explain just how off-putting this game makes me feel. It just... I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just too used to the formula. It's kind of like SimCities, right? Like you played the SimCities for so long, and then you play a game that's a little bit too simplified, or a SimCity that's a little too simplified. SimCity Societies, for example. SimCity Societies is not a SimCity game. I don't know. Anyway, so we've almost reached our goal here. I guess I need one more house. Plunk it down right there. And that should be it, right? I can upgrade another one. Okay.
Seems like work is
So they're still satisfied. These guys are doing okay for now, and we've reached our goal. So for 5 minutes, we got to sit here, and then we can unlock the next bit. I'm not going to do that, however. I'm actually going to end the episode here, and we will continue on next time.